Here we go, guys. Live stream. This is a review after 2019 NFL Draft. Joining me, I got Cowboys family in the house. Y'all know what time it is with them. Hard workers. Got a special guest, Mike Moss, is in the house. Diehard Cowboy fan. The king of the live stream, Mike Moss. DJ Krause, the fifth quarter Cowboys will be in soon. And myself, Dallas Cowboy fan 1980. Y'all know where to find me. Go ahead and kick it off, Cowboys family. What y'all got?
Oh, hell. What's up, everybody? Thank you, and we're honored to be here with you guys once again. Mike Moss. Mike, we got DJ coming in. We got DCFN, who's with family right now. So we're gonna discuss the draft, and again, we can do this player by player. Let's just get right into it. First and foremost, our first round pick, Amari Cooper. I mean, you really can't beat that, right? I mean, we're all on board.
Across the board.
A+, everyone good on that one?
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. We all know that was our first round pick right there, so you can't argue with that one. I totally agree. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, we can't ignore we can't ignore the fact that even if he wasn't drafted by us, he is part of this draft class in the sense of this is our pick we used for him.
Yeah, and then Jason Garrett actually said today on an interview on the NFL Network that Jerry Jones was really antsy during that first day. He was just really antsy, really off kilter because he wasn't making a pick. So it was a little frustrating for him too, even though we know we made a good pick. It was a little frustrating for him too, not having any action that first day. But then comes day 2, then comes pick 58.
Right.
And then came
Tristan Hill from UCF, guys, defensive tackle. He is a three technique guy. Basically he's right now slotted as behind Malik Collins. And we talked about him yesterday some. Just basically, he's a quick-footed, 3 tech that's who can play 1 tech. I know they heard from us last night, myself in 1980 and DJ. But Mike Mosh, what do you think about that first pick? Our first actual pick in round 2, Tristan Hill, UCF.
Of course, the fan base obviously wanted safety. But we got to just go on a gamble that just like last year, everybody wanted Calvin Ridley. Everybody wanted wide receiver, and boom. They pulled a huge, crazy knockout punch on us last year, and boom, who's this Leighton Vander Esch guy? And it worked out. So like last year worked out, let's just roll the dice and go with our crew, and let's hope that it works out this year as well. I personally, I didn't really see that we were actually even focused on him. But then the day of the draft, they're like, hey, we've had meetings with this guy, and they like this guy. And I was like, don't be surprised. I texted a few people, and I was like, don't be surprised if we take this guy if he's there. And boom, we sure got him. He was one of our guys, and he was on the board. So boom, we got
him. Yeah, 1980. Any words on Tristan Hill, UCF?
Like I said yesterday, I agree with the pick. I don't want to get too excited about the draft anymore. Y'all know how I feel about that. It was a smart pick for the Cowboys. Hopefully, it's a smart pick. I want all these picks that we got to turn out. I want all positive things to turn out with them. It was a pick it was a much needed pick. We did need a defensive tackle, so I agree with the pick once again. I think he has the size and the ability to be disruptive in the inside. Like I said yesterday on our little mini live stream, D-Law and Quinn are the containers, and the inside can stop the run and the pass. If you got 2 dominant defensive ends coming in on the outside, they are normally the pass rushers. Offense can easily run a draw play and override that pass rush coming in on the edge. If you got a dominant defensive tackle, like we hope this guy can be, he can disrupt the pass and the run. So it's good to have a dominant interior guy. So I agree. I agree with the pick. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say I'm not going to fall in love with this none of these players, because I'm telling you, I'm not doing it anymore. Y'all know what time it is with that, man. But yeah, that's all I got on Tristan Hill. I mean, I like the kid. I mean, hopefully he'll turn out to be another Warren Sapp or another Russell Maryland or Leon Lett or something like that. But, it's to be determined. We still got to see him on the NFL field. College highlights don't too much impress me because they're going against other college players. But it is a resume. You got to have some kind of resume. So it looked okay. It looked kind of impressive. But we'll see. It's to be determined.
Well, we got ourselves another special guest right here. Cowboys abroad. I mean, stream boss Michael Jackson. What's up, man? Cowboys abroad. Guy, everybody sub up to Cowboys abroad. Don't forget about him. What's your 2 cents? Number one, Amari Cooper, number 1 pick overall. That's an A+++. But what about, at least in my book, I don't know. But give it any quick thoughts on him, and of course Tristan Hill at 58 in the second round.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Thanks for allowing me to be here. Hey, Amari Cooper, definitely A+ pick. Glad we got Amari Cooper. Glad we were using him last year. It's gonna be a beast this year. Can't wait to see him play. As far as Tristan Hill is concerned, I can't really be mad at the pickup. It's no secret that we needed defensive tackles, just like in my mind we needed safeties. I was a little disappointed. I was disappointed that we had 3 out of the top 4 safeties left on the board, and we went defensive tackle. But at the same time, we did need defensive tackles. I think we solidified a key spot that we needed to pick up somebody. Lee Collins, he's injury prone at times. Half the time he's not in the lineup. He's on his last year of his contract. And so we needed somebody that could plug in and replace him if need be. Plus Autumn Wood sometimes is injured. Sometimes he can't make it. Crawford and legal trouble. We don't know what's going to come out of his bar fight situation. So that defensive tackle spot is really truly a question mark, and so we had to address it and fill it. And I think we did a good job of going out and getting somebody that can fill that role.
All right, fair enough. That's a great. I definitely understand the whole, the safety situation. Again, that's good you brought it up because.
As far as my thoughts, that really kind of brings it to what it came down to for the Cowboys, because from what we heard, they had Tristan Hill and Juan Thornhill, and those are the 2 names right then and there, and they made a choice. And the Cowboys, that's kind of the point. They chose defensive tackle. They chose to go in that direction. And I have to believe that they did that for a reason. Something about Tristan Hill spoke to them more, seemed like a better fit, seemed like a more impactful player for us, or straight up, as we always kind of suspected, the Cowboys just don't value the safety position. So maybe Thornhill was a little better, but the Cowboys still saw Tristan Hill as more. Whatever it is, he is our guy, and I do think that he does a lot of good things for us. We're securing our defensive line once again for the future. It helps fill in a few of those gaps. And again, you can never go wrong with having more depth and more guys there. So, to me, it was a good, solid pick, a great pick. And, I think it's a good fit scheme-wise as well for the Cowboys. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and what he's going to be able to do this year. But I know all of us are going to be keeping an eye on Juan Thornhill as well.
And that's one of the main things as well. That's a great point as well, fiance, that, the Marinelli scheme dictates defensive tackle is the most important position on that field. More important is that much more highly valued than the safety. So, especially the strong safety. So again, that's the kind of the dilemma. We have to think about it in Richard's defense. What's more important and how they valued different things. So in either way, I don't think it was really a bad, obviously not a bad pick, but I feel that same kind of feeling everyone else is feeling about, maybe could have got that safety then. There was a lot of good safeties there, and they all kind of went off the board. And now going into the third round, and again, late in the third round, we picked up there, you see him there, Connor McGovern. He is a versatile interior offensive lineman, center and guard. He basically, played both of those for not just a game or two. He played both those for a while, through his career. He played both of those in college. So versatile, according to Stephen Jones, nothing to do with Travis Frederick. So again, I'll put this back out there to the table here. But
so if it has nothing to do with Frederick, who does it have something
to
do with?
So La'el Collins is the one that I think is in danger here. We talked about it yesterday. He's probably going to be moved out. He's almost $10 million this year on the cap. And so next year is a free agent. Probably see Connor Williams. Stephen Jones literally said today that he can see Connor Williams moved out to right tackle. That's kind of, they hope to re-sign La'el, which means if Stephen Jones saying we hope to re-sign you, you're going to be cut next year. So, that's my 2 cents. I think it's a very good pick for next year. And now we get younger on the offensive line, which is, for the future, it's good as well. What do you, 19, we could go with, 19A, you kind of touched on it first. So, yeah, you touched on it yesterday a little bit. Any more expanding on that? And then we'll go to Mike Mosh, Southampton 88, and then Cowboys abroad.
Yeah, these picks that we got, the first 3, I don't want to say, oh, I told you so or whatever, because I'm not. But I imagined us going defensive tackle, then line. Those are the most important things that we kind of needed. If you think about the offensive line, we got a good offensive line, but a lot of them are beat up. And you can never have too many offensive linemen, and you can never have too many defensive linemen. I think this was a smart pick by the Cowboys, especially him being versatile. Like, who knows? I do agree that they're gonna make some changes, because last year was like, whoa, Zeke had to find holes and do things on his own. I'm not saying the offensive line didn't do anything, but with Travis Fredericks being out, it was different. Joe Looney did the best he could. I'm not knocking him. He did a pretty good job. I don't think Travis Frederick, I think he'll be ready to go. He's never going to be 100% again, but I think he'll be 90, 85, 90, and that's good enough, because their technique and his ability makes up for it. Tyron Smith he's aging and he's battered. He's got some kind of injury every single year. So they're just trying to find somebody that can be a swing guy. And this guy's perfect. I was able to kind of go back and look at some of his tape and highlights and things like that. And he looked pretty good. 6'5", over 300 pounds, looks pretty strong, and got to work on his footwork and technique a little bit. But, that'll come around when he gets steps on the NFL field, going through training camp and things like that. So I'm not saying he's going to start right away, but you never know. We've all agreed, probably can agree on Collins maybe out the door, but we don't know yet. They could possibly be moving, Connor Williams over to tackle, which we all probably could agree on too. And he's gained 10 pounds of muscle. I saw the photos on him and everything. So if you leave it up to me, I'm an offensive line guy. A football team starts with an offensive line. I would draft the offensive line first, second round every year. But that's just me. You can never have too many linemen, because without them, there's no Zeke or whatever. So that's I like that pick. I agree with that pick as well. But that's all I pretty much got on that one. Back to the I wanted to say one thing back to the first pick we had, or the second round number 58 pick. The Dallas Cowboys, like I said yesterday, they're not putting too much stock on safeties. It seemed like it. They are trying to beef up this front seven to make up for an average, maybe good safety. I don't think this year, like I said weeks and weeks before, the Darren Woodson era, Brock Marion era, that's maybe Barry Church, that's probably gone. The way Marinelli and Rashad together they're so aggressive that they want to go ahead and nip it in the bud early. They don't want to have to rely on the safety position, because they're the secondary is the last, especially the safety position. They're the last line of defense. So they don't want to have to rely. I'm just thinking like the Cowboys. Now, I was with you guys. Oh, we need a safety. But it's not a perfect world. We're not making the picks. They are. You get what I'm saying? So we don't play for the Cowboys. They do. They run the show. So I'm just thinking like them. I'm thinking like, well, we're aggressive. We want to nip this in the bud. The problem we were having last year was pass rush. You get what I'm saying? That's why we were getting our asses handed to us by that 1-2 punch of the Rams. If we could have had the right personnel in there, we could have probably went to the Super Bowl. Never know. I'm just hypothetically speaking. But I just think the Cowboys are trying to make that front seven, especially that front four, because we already got two elite up-and-coming linebackers with Sean Lee coming back in the mix. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play more than 5 or 6 games, but I doubt it. I was thinking they were going to probably draft a linebacker, somebody to kind of take his place because he's almost out the door anyway. But I think they're trying to beef up that front seven so it can make up for what we don't have in the backfield. Now, I think they're okay with what we got. We got a lot of young safeties that just need to be developed. Jeff Heath has probably reached his peak. He's been the team like DJ and Cowboys family touched on last night. He's going into his 5th, 6th year. So he's another Bill Bates to me. Bill Bates was a better tackler, but that job is up for the safety positions are up for the grabs. So it's best man for the job. But that's how I feel. I had to go back on that. I'm sorry, guys. But I think the McGovern, Connor McGovern, whatever his name is, pick was I agree with it. It was kind of smart about the Cowboys. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, Mosh.
Oh, good, man. Mosh,
and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to jump back to, because I never really got to answer the question about Amari Cooper in the first, It's like, hey, there's not a wide receiver out there that would have jumped in here and he's going to do more than what Amari Cooper can do for this team. So, hey, round 1, I'm down with it. I'm good. Go Coop. Round 2. After that Rams game, man, there's always been talk about safeties, but I think if you really think about the safeties, it wasn't because we were like, man, we need a safety, we're getting our ass kicked. It wasn't. The safety talk didn't come out till last year when Earl Thomas, after one of our games, like, hey, sign me, hey, bring me to Dallas. I want to come to Dallas. That's where all the safety came, if you really want to think about it. But what he gives us, like I said, that Rams game, man, we need us Cowboy fans, we all talked about it all offseason. Let's get some big bodied guys for the middle. And now that we got one, you still can't make the fans happy. But guess what, fans? You know what? For better or for worse, for right or wrong, that's the decision that we made, and let's go with it, man. He's going to help us stuff the run in the middle, and he's going to help us create some pressure on the quarterbacks in the middle. So I'm down with it. Now back to we might as well call this guy Connor McGovern, because that's just kind of Connor McGregor, because everybody's going to be calling him Connor McGregor forever. But back to Connor McGregor, you got to understand that, yeah, we look at our team this year, but in the end, as a smart businessman, the Joneses and everybody, we're looking at next year too. We're looking at our boy La'el Collins, going to have that $10 million cap hit, and with us having to pay everybody else, it's like, hey, this means with a guy like that being, he can play guard, he can play safety. Boom, one Connor can take over for the other Connor. We push Connor Williams out the tackle, and La'el Collins most likely goes bye-bye. We save $10 million, and that's my 2 cents on the 1, 2, Zay the 3, South of Heaven 88 here. And let's go Cowboys as always, and I appreciate you. If you hit up my channel, I'm going to go type in the chat real quick, and Cowboys abroad, take over.
Well, everything is no secret that everything we do run through the offensive line. So we gotta have a solidified line, especially if we're gonna pay Dak Prescott a lot of money. We got to give him some protection. If we're gonna run the ball, we got to give Zeke somebody's gonna block it up. Connor Williams, he was, toward the back end of the season he got better, but he started out inconsistent. There was even some conversations we had about maybe we should bench Connor Williams. He's not ready, that type of thing. I like making him compete for the job. There's somebody standing in the wings that can compete for the job. And I think that McGovern, he certainly compete for Tuifuila's backup role of Connor Williams, and I think he can compete for the starting role of guard. And what does that mean for Connor Williams? Well, does it mean that what you say, Mike Moss, happens? Is that Connor moves over to Taco? Maybe. Could just mean he sits on the bench, or it could mean this: we plan for the future. We plan for the future. Joe Looney, in my mind, earned the pay raise, and he earned the ability or the right to start. And so next season, maybe he's no longer a Cowboy. Maybe he goes elsewhere where he can get started in row. And Connor and Connor McGovern's ability to move over and play center and be our backup center may play huge in this, and him coming here and getting that backup role. So I'm looking at it as we're kind of poised for the future. I think it's a smart thing. I think it's great that we got somebody that can play multiple positions. And like 1980 said, it's a smart pickup. It's a smart pickup, solid pickup. And I'm glad that we're focusing on the offensive line, because without it, we're not going anywhere. We know what it looks like. We know what it looks like when that line breaks down. And it looks something like 54 sacks, 54, 55 sacks on your quarterback, or somewhere like that is what it means when your line is no good. So we got to get that right.
So yeah, no, good. I mean, again, I'm gonna let Fiance kind of finish up her view on McGovern, and then we're gonna go to the fourth round, which is day 3, which is today. So, baby, what do you think? Your thoughts on McGovern?
I mean, as usual, I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm happy about it. We all knew that our offensive line, regardless of where you want to look, could use a little bit of revamping. So, I think that the fact that he is kind of a flex player at least lets us get creative with him, lets us use him in other ways. Connor Williams, I mean, we've all seen the pictures. This guy has been beefing up. So Connor and Connor, I think it's a wonderful compliment together. And one of the interesting things too, Connor Williams last year was our 2nd round pick. And this guy was apparently our last 2nd round projected player, and he dropped to us late in the 3rd round. So think about it. We got a 2nd round player late in the 3rd round. So to me, that's again high value for our pick. Again, at a position of need, well done. And at a point where a lot of offensive linemen were going really fast. We saw a lot of tackles go right around this time. So, again, pick 1, 2, and 3, let's say, of the 2019 Dallas Cowboy draft gets an A+ from me, and McGovern is just, again, another really smart key piece that, yes, he's not going to possibly be a right now player. We might not really see too much of him this year, but I'm telling you that next year we're going to see this guy shine. And if we do see him this year, just like every other rookie, he's probably going to start off a little slow, but I do expect really good things from him. So what do you think?
I mean, I'm not going to go into it because we talked about it yesterday. I like this pick for the reasons that were mentioned already. But again, one thing we have to keep in mind when it comes to McGovern is that he was for the Cowboys, you said, a 2nd round grade. He was the only 2nd round grade left when the Cowboys picked on their board. On their second, as far as who they regard as a 2nd round draft pick kind of grade, he was the only guy left on their board when their pick came around in the 3rd round. So it was a no-brainer for the Cowboys. Interior, again, Stephen Jones said that about Travis Frederick. They expect him to be back 100%. So it's all about Alel Collins. 1 year left, and then the move for this guy's basically next year's starter, which I think is a smart move. Now, into the day 3 here, guys, 4th round. And, their 2nd pick in the 4th round, we traded down and got like 3 players. But let's talk about the only pick we made in the 4th round, and that's Tony Pollard, a guy who came in, a 30-visit guy. And just to give a quick information on him, this guy's 5'11 and 3/4, basically 6 feet. I think he's about 210. I think he ran a 40 and a 4.34, something like that. This guy is speed. This guy is he's a running back, but – and I'm going to stress this, guys, especially with Mike Weber, in the 7th round. Later on, we'll talk about him. But because of that pick, this guy, to me, is our slot corner / gadget, versatile back, kind of Tavon Austin, kind of, Cole Beasley, kind of, like a Lance Dunbar, all in one, but bigger, stronger, and not injured. So he also returns punts and kickoffs. He has 7 of them in college. He has 9. He has 7 kickoff and punt returns in college, 9 other touchdowns on the ground, 9 other touchdowns in the air. So I believe this guy, and again, when the Cowboys drafted him, they had him and Isaiah Johnson from Houston, a cornerback, that they were just debating on which one would they try to get now and which one would they let go to the 2nd, 4th. The Cowboys decided to let what's his name go? Let Isaiah Johnson from Houston, a guy who Chris Sharp really loves, let him go down to the 2nd, 4th round pick, and he was immediately drafted by the Oakland Raiders right after the Cowboys picked, Tony Pollard. And a lot of people say that Tony Pollard probably would have been there in the second pick, and the Cowboys wouldn't have to trade down. But hey, that's the way the cookie crumbled. So that's the kind of the basics on him. Baby, did you want to throw in anything?
So this is the first thing I thought of when we drafted him. We are seeing live and in action the very first Kellen Moore guy. This is the very first Kellen Moore guy. Kellen Moore single-handedly picked Pollard, I bet you any money. So, I mean, I know it wasn't just him, but he was the main force behind it. And I think he's going to be one of those guys that Kellen Moore's new scheme, whatever he's bringing new to this offense, Kellen Moore is like the driving force behind Pollard succeeding and doing really well. And I think we're going to see a lot of good things from him in this new Kellen Moore style offense, the way that we're going to use.
I don't know how different it's going to be, Kellen Moore's offense, but I do think this, and because of Garrett's control, I do think that Kellen Moore will, with his pre-draft motion, and then this guy right here, Tony Pollard, it was used a lot in pre-snap motion. He was used a lot in pre-snap motion in Memphis, and on the line of scrimmage as a slot receiver a lot. I think he lined up out of like 600 snaps last year. He lined up 420 times on the line of scrimmage as a slot receiver. So this guy is our receiver, not our running back. I just want to, keep it kind of. I'm thinking it more as a receiver, but a versatile kind of running back that can also, do multiple things like return kickoffs and punts. Guys, to the table. What do you guys think? 1980.
Well, I kind of like this one too. I like the versatility of this guy. Like I said, I was able to. This was the last pick. I pretty much was able to kind of really go into it and look at a little film on this guy. Versatile dude. He can do a lot of things. Special teams. He can line up a wide receiver. He's mobile wide receiver. He's 6 foot, 210 pounds. So he can play slot receiver, or he can be an X factor. You get what I'm saying? Kind of like a Tavon Austin type guy, a decoy at times, and special teams, punt return, kick return. He can do it all. This is a guy that they kind of need with his speed and explosiveness and versatility. Able to fight off blocks, arm tackles. He's just he's a really north and south runner, and that's what we need. That's what Zeke needs. We need that 1-2 punch, like all the other teams are trying to do. We get that 1-2 punch, man. We'll be good. Give Zeke a little rest, because like I say, like we've all said, Zeke was limping off the field last season. So we're just trying to preserve Zeke. Zeke's too good of a back to use up really quick. To have a short career, we need to prolong his career a little bit more. That's kind of what I'm looking into. I'm looking at the future of this pick, of this Pollard pick. I hate to say it, but I kind of like him. It's to be determined with him too. Those are college highlights that we're looking at, and I'm probably going to say this on every pick, every guy we talk about tonight. It'd be good to see him in training. Can't wait to see him in training camp, what he can do. And Rod Smith just wasn't giving us that consistency. I don't know if it was because of lack of playing time, but fifth quarter, me and him would say, Rod Smith, it took him too long to get that engine going. Once he got in rhythm, he was cool. But as soon as he got in that rhythm, boom, he was back on the bench. So he just couldn't hit those holes like Zeke could. We need somebody that can do pretty much the same thing. Like the LA Rams, when Gurley was out, Anderson came right in and picked up the slack and was doing the same thing, but a little bit more powerful. That's what we need. We need somebody that can come in and be really explosive when Zeke is on the bench getting rest. This guy, they say he's an every down back too, so he has the endurance as well. Obviously, being young, when he's 20, 21 years old, however old he is, he can run his lungs are still pink. He can run forever. You get what I'm saying? So. It was just another smart pick by the Cowboys. I agree with this one too. I think they're just getting need. They're getting their needs, not ours. That's what we got to come to terms with as fans. We're just fans, and we can all day long sit and look at our screens and sit on our couches and say, "Oh, we need this," and "Oh, we need that." But these guys are supposed to be professionals, and hopefully they can. I'm not saying that we're wrong. But hopefully they know what they're doing with these picks that they got this season, and hopefully they can help us hoist that Lombardi Trophy for the 6th time. This guy he looks ready. He has good size too. He's not just the shortest thing in the world. He's not just the biggest thing in the world. I like my running backs 5'9", 5'10"-ish. because they can hit the holes a little easier. But Zeke's 5'11", 6 foot, so pretty much the same size, same height. So a little lighter, but maybe he can do the same thing. But that's just what I think. That's what we're looking for: consistency and at a 1-2 punch. That's what we're looking for. But that's all I got on that guy. Sorry if I ran my mouth too long.
That's all good. It's all good. He's gonna be. Remember, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be used a lot in the passing game. So that's gonna be interesting to see there too. 1980. Great points. Mike Mosh, the man with the plan. What's up, Mike?
I made it back, and we're talking about Pollard, running back, correct?
Yes, Pollard.
Yes, I don't think I'm wrong here. If I am, I apologize. Because I think I've seen last year's stats, not his entire stats, and he had a little over 100 catches. He got over 1,000 yards with those 100 catches, so that's almost like 10 yards per touch with the ball. 9 total touchdowns. What was it? Like 6 receiving, 9 rushing, or the other way around. But when you think about the team as a whole, offense, you have defense, and there's also special teams. So if Dak is allowed to have a backup and Zeke's allowed to have a backup, how about Tavon Austin? Let's have him a backup as too. Having an elite threat on special teams, kickoff returns, punt returns. Now we got that 1-2 punch with Pollard and Austin back there. And if Austin gets injured, boom, Pollard's in there. Now, Pollard does have a little concern about receiving out of the backfield. Yes, he had the stats I seen. He had 45 receptions, but he'll drop a ball here and there. But him as a return guy, golden. Will he make the team? Because we drafted that other running back from Ohio later. So I'm thinking, hey, those two fight it out in training camp, and the best man wins the position. But as far as special teams and as a return game and what he can bring to the table, I'm totally down with it, and I'm ready to rock and roll with the guy.
We got Cowboys abroad, man. What do you think about this pick? Now, again, I want to make sure I stress that when it comes to Pollard and Ohio State, the backup to Zeke, I think that they're going for 2 different situations. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to necessarily. That's my opinion, Mike. I don't think they're going to battle it out, but I do think that they're going to. They're 2 different type of running backs. So one guy's like a receiver, and the other guy's like more of a pure running back. So I think you're going to see what's the guy from Ohio State, Weber, picked up guy. I think he's going to be the guy that is going to be like the Rod Smith. We'll see what happens. Cowboys abroad. Your 2 cents on this Tony Pollard from Memphis.
Yeah. I can take it or leave. I wasn't overly impressed with the pick. To be honest with you, I wasn't overly impressed with the pick. I am more accepting of it with him giving us some help in the kickoff punt return game. Because before Tavion Austin came back, our kickoff return game was just crazy. So if he can give us a lift there, then great. But overall, was looking for more. I don't know. I was looking for a different type of player, I guess I should say, in that particular backup running back position. I ain't mad at 4th round. I kind of figured we'd go running back in 4th round. I'm just not so sure Polovich, you got it. I would have went for in the 4th round. But that being said, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that he gets off and works out, and he's as dynamic as he's projected to be. For all of our sakes, I am. But I wasn't overly thrilled with the pick.
So like basically nothing special about him is what you're saying. Well, again, he said, "Well, I got to wait and see." In my opinion, I hear you guys, and I feel it. So again, I think that to me the biggest thing that bothers me is the Isaiah Johnson situation from Houston, a big long cornerback that the Cowboys really liked, Richard loved, and I think they made a bad move here by picking Pollard over him. Maybe taking Pollard after him, Isaiah Johnson would have been smarter, and I think that's where the Cowboys kind of fucked up. Let's just be real. I don't mean to curse. Yeah,
I do think Mike Moss made a great point though, in that having a backup for Tavon Austin might not be a bad idea, considering that he gets hurt quite often, and half the time he's not available to us on the roster. Having a backup for Tavon Austin might not be a bad thing. Roles and we're less handicapped when he's off, when Tavon Austin can't line up, then I think that all works out for us, And so in the end, it may work out. It may work out best. Yeah. I just don't think that receiving is where our problem area is anymore. With receiving core that we have and the weapons that we have, I don't really think we need necessarily a receiving back. We need somebody that can tote the rock when Zeke need a break. So line them up between the numbers and go between the numbers. And more impressed. I was actually more impressed with our 7th round pickup than I was with with our second pick back we picked up from Ohio State than I was with this particular running back. But if he could do some of those kind of things and help out in the backup capacity, even for Tavon Austin, and so be it. I'm just not so sure if there's a place on the roster that many backups.
Yeah, I think I hear you about Weber. I think he's the kind of guy you wanted. You know what I'm saying, for that spot. And we got him. He's a 4th round grade, so we didn't get him in the 4th, but we got him in the 7th. But he's kind of got a high grade up for most people. So, but my point is that I still don't look at Pollard. I know you're saying we don't really need a receiver, but here's the thing, and I'm going to kind of leave it on this, and we'll move on, I guess, unless you guys want last words on this, but. Next year we have who do you have 1-year contracts on a receiver? We did this with Tristan Hill, right? And talked about who's on a 1-year contract. We have Malik Collins left, 1 year left, Antoine Woods, Crawford. So when I look at the same situation at receiver, I'm looking at in the slot after Amari Cooper and Gallup, you got Cobb on a 1-year deal. You got Allen Hurns 1 year left on his deal. We picked it up, and then we got what's his name? Tavon Austin went on a 1-year deal. So this guy's I think he's gonna. Right, he might be doing like a little background stuff this year, but I think he's more of kind of like Connor McGovern. I think it's a similar thing where he's gonna kind of do some stuff this year, and they're gonna use him this year. I think he'll be used more than McGovern will be this year, but I think next year he'll be a more prominent role, and mainly in the passing game as a slot receiver for kind of the future to go along with Amari Cooper and Gallup. Anyways, that's anybody want to say anything more on that?
When you put it like that, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I can't predict it, but like 1980 said, we're just fans sitting on the couches, giving our views. So that's what it's about. And again, I think we all made great points, and that's what it matters. Now let's go into where it gets real sticky here, because in the 5th round we went 2 guys from Miami. All right, from the Miami Hurricanes, and we went with a cornerback and a defensive edge rusher. Both guys from Miami Hurricanes, both guys named Jackson. One guy named Michael Jackson, the other guy named Joe Jackson. I mean, it's incredible. But when you think about it, this guy, Michael Jackson, not the guy who's on the stream boss right now, but Michael Jackson Sr., number 28 from the Hurricanes. He's what I've heard from him, he fits the Richard mold. He's a feisty, kind of aggressive defensive back. He said himself today, guys, on the radio, that he will play not just corner. He's a corner safety defensive back is what he prides himself on. And so again, 5th round, a feisty guy. Again, a guy that we'll see if he makes the team. I personally think he's going to be fighting it out with the guy we picked in the 6th round from Texas A&M. So at safety, so I think it'll be one of those 2 guys kind of fighting it out. I think the Cowboys wanted to do something like this with these later round guys, more bulk, and then find out who makes it out of the pack. I think after Pollard, I think that's kind of what we're looking at outside of Weber. But I mean, Michael Jackson, again, he's an aggressive, swag-filled kind of player, so he's going to bring some attitude. And again, we'll see if he makes the team. Joseph Jackson, the other guy, the Cowboy. I guess we can double up on this if you guys want. But the other guy, Joe Jackson, he's an edge rusher. And the thing with him, he is, even though he's kind of a beast, right? He has no explosiveness. He has no, quickness. He has, he doesn't. He's not very. He's one of the worst. Not very agile. So when you see his highlights, he basically mauls over people, like knocks over, tackles, and just gets at the quarterback. So he has 24 sacks in 3 years in Miami, and with the Hurricanes. And again, one of the more consistent players, actually really high on a lot of these expert analysis boards, whatever draft boards. He's really like in the hundreds. And again, he was drafted in the low hundreds, 200s or whatever. So or I guess what the low 100s. So this guy here definitely is. I think we got a little bit of a value pick, but he's one of those guys I think is going to fight it out with the last pick of the draft. In this whole race for the roster spots. So what do you guys think about both these Jacksons guys from Miami, from the Hurricanes?
We got Dallas Cowboy football news in the house, man. Let's hear his thoughts and let's pick his brain and see what he's talking about. See how he feels about the draft picks. What's up, football news? You in the house, brother?
Oh, thank you, Dallas Cowboy fan 1980. Thanks for having me on. Mike Maj, Cowboys Abroad, my Cowboys family, of course. Thank you for letting me on here, guys. The NFL Dallas Cowboy 2019 draft. They built the trenches up. Smart. That's where games are won and lost, is in the trenches. I like Hill. I really like Hill. Central Florida, my Cowboys family's guy right there. And then, smart pick, not a reach. Connor McGovern, whatever the name is. Real good move there. Just overall, now the Hurricane picks, that's kind of surprising to me. But I do like Mike Weber, that running back. I think that would complement Zeke nice. I do like Tony Pollard or Poland, whatever his name is. Do like that move. I watched some highlights on him, and that guy reminds me of Tavon Austin, but Tavon Austin's just a hair faster. But I think the writing's on the wall that I don't think Tavon Austin's going to make it out of training camp. There's just too many receivers. Tavon Austin's gone. I can almost assure you that. Malik Collins, if they can maybe work out a trade, trade Malik, trade Tavon, trade Taco. I mean, the end depth is freaking legit. I mean, we have to get some, equity out of the guys that we invested in if we're not going to use them. Trade these guys. Let's go get more draft picks for next year in 2020. But no, overall, good job. They got Michael and his dad, Joe Jackson. I thought that was so funny when they did that. But no, Cowboys did smart here. I liked what they did. There was already good depth on this roster, and they went and got more. Now, the safety that we got, I don't know much about him, but I don't know if you're on that just yet. Don't know much about the safety that we got, and really don't know much about the 3 last picks that we got either, except Mike Weber. But other than that, another Buckeye running back. Cowboys strike gold when they get a Buckeye running back, so who knows? Mike Weber might be pretty damn good. Back to you, Dallas Cowboy fan, 1980.
Yeah, let me get on, I guess, 5th round, Michael Jackson cornerback. Y'all know I'm a secondary guy, so especially a cornerback guy. That's my position. That's another position you can never have too many of. There's always, from what I've seen, he looks pretty good. I think the Dallas Cowboys. I think Chris Richard. This is a Chris Richard guy. I think he can mold this guy and turn him into a monster. Now, obviously, we still got our 2 starters, Cheeto and Byron Jones. Who knows what they're going to do with Byron Jones because he was arguably one of the best cornerbacks in the league last year. He was 2nd place in pass breakups, which was 14. So I think that they're trying to maybe play a game, trying to see how that's going to iron out. But obviously, this guy is going to start. I mean, the slot is always available, but we got Brown, in the other nickel, but Don is always available too. So these positions are up for grabs, especially in the secondary. So when the business side kicks in, it kind of makes some things happen or whatever. But I don't have too much to say about these guys after the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd pick that we had. So I'm going to let y'all run this. I'm just going to get educated from you guys, man. But that's all I got, man.
All right, Mike.
Touching on Michael Jackson, the way I see it is we got 3 corner. Again, I'm reaching out there till next year as a Cowboy fan. You look at this year and you look at next year. Byron Jones, cornerback free agent, needs to be paid. Brown, cornerback free agent, needs to be paid. Lewis, cornerback free agent, gonna need to be paid. So, man, maybe we got a cornerback here and Michael Jackson, and if one of those goes bye-bye, boom, we already got a cornerback already to take their place. He's totally a Chris Richard body type, around 6'1", a little over 200. So he's got that height and weight that Chris Richard likes. Is he going to be the next Richard Sherman? Who the hell knows? Can he be moved to safety? A lot of Cowboy fans are talking about that, but I really think overall that he is here for this, hopefully to totally make the team and free agency next year. And we got to say bye-bye. We can't pay one of our guys. Boom, we got a cornerback there for him. And welcome to the stream, Fifth Quarter Cowboys. Good to see you, brother.
Man.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
We got a lot of catching up to do. Hey, DJ, give your views on the draft as of this point. If you
Man.
Buckle up, everyone.
Man, listen, man. First of all, let me get my grade of the draft, man. My grade of the Cowboys.
Be careful. Be careful now. Be careful.
Yeah. My grade of this draft, man. Listen, man. D-.
Damn.
D-, man.
D for disagree.
D- with this draft, man. Listen, man. Those first picks made sense until we got on down in the rounds. They made sense for what I thought we was gonna do after that. And after the second and third round, everybody up in the war room just closed their eyes and called phone numbers.
Just flip the coin. Man.
They just closed their eyes. And man, listen, man, I don't want to talk about next year. I don't care. I don't want to hear. I don't give a damn.
That's what happens when you have a good team. You got a wide range of choices.
Man, listen. Every year we said we're going to draft better next year. Every goddamn year. Man, listen. Nobody going to make me change my grade. D-. After I'm going to tell y'all, man. Man, listen, man. I promise you, it ain't one guy. And then what else all these damn Jacksons we drafted? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Oh, the Saints, thank you for picking up my Florida safety, Saints. Somebody had some sense. Saints picked up Chauncey. Oh, my God, man. So you're going to have Lattimore and Chauncey. Man, listen. D-, man. I am not a very happy camper right now. What I am okay with, that damn running back we got is like a 4.34.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard from Memphis.
Yeah, that guy. He's like a 4.34 or something.
Right.
And I think they looking at him as like, y'all remember Dunbar, number 25?
Yeah.
I think they looking at him like a Dunbar. Who that was backed up DeMarco Murray, the boy that went to jail?
Randall.
Yeah.
Joseph Randall. God, he was fast.
Yeah.
I think that's how they looking at that guy. Man, listen, man. I don't give a damn about next year. Another draft gonna come. What, man? Listen, man. You gotta put all of your eggs in the basket sometime and just go for it, man. The Cowboys are still drafting, tipping toeing, man. Kick the fucking dough down, balls to the wall, and go for it right now, man. Don't worry about next year. Next year, get here, man. Let's draft big right now. Man, listen, I don't know how anybody is satisfied with what they saw after the third round. I just don't get it, man.
Who we miss out on you wanted, DJ?
Say what, bro?
Who did we miss out on that you wanted?
Well, I just feel like certain positions should have happened. Like, what? We got a safety in the 6th round. What the entire fuck was that about?
What I tell you yesterday, DJ? I told you. What I tell you?
Yep.
I told you it was.
Yep, you did. We got a safety in the 6th damn round. A guy that's probably not even gonna make the damn team. A guy that's probably not even gonna make the team. I mean, oh my goodness, man. Then we got another running back. I don't know what I don't know what happened. I think everybody got a hold of Jerry Jones flask, and everybody just took a sip and just said, "Fuck it." They let everybody pick. They let everybody get a pick. They let Stephen Jones' son get a pick. They let Jerry Jones' daughter get a pick. They just let everybody get a pick. They pass picks around. Man, listen, man. This draft to me was great. Hey, let me tell y'all something. This draft didn't come close to the draft the year we drafted Cheeto and them. Didn't come close to it, man. Or the 2016 class. I mean, oh my goodness, man. How many? What's the chances of, bro? Like, man. Hey, Bosh, this ain't my couch. This is my recliner, Mosh. Where my blanket at?
So we did need a defensive tackle and no lineman. Are you saying that we
Well,
didn't?
he said the first 3 picks was agreeable. First 3 was agreeable, but after that,
after that, man, they just threw their hands up.
Yeah, I didn't think they needed 2 running backs, but the first guy, Pollard, is kind of a versatile running back / type receiver. So I thought that was okay because of his speed, So I don't know.
Mike Weber's gonna be a steal though, man. Mike Weber's a beast, man. He's a back.
Man, that dude won't even make this damn team.
And I disagree with you there, DJ. And again, I'm saying this because
we don't know, man.
And the reason I say I disagree, we don't know, but I'm looking at it like this. I'm looking at it like this, DJ, and I understand I understand the some of it. And the thing is this is that there's some picks that we had. I'm more upset in the earlier rounds in the sense that we had some better position grabs, and we decided to kind of wait and we lost on those gambles. I'm more about like kind of where I'm on here is that when I look at the list, Tristan Hill, McGovern, and Pollard, they're going to be starters now and or near future. DJ, yes, I said it. Now here's what I'm saying. I think that Michael Jackson guy and the guy from Texas A&M, his name is Damian. I'm sorry, let me see what his name is. Donovan Wilson, safety from Texas A&M. I've heard that, again, his grade is decent he's a free safety that's going to be playing strong safety in the NFL. And again, what I'm hearing is he's a Richard guy. What I think they're going to do is they're going to take Michael Jackson, who's another Richard guy, and they're going to take this guy here, Donovan Wilson, and they're going to basically, one of those guys is going to win this fight. They're taking an extra guy, right, to challenge each other. I'm not saying that's the right path or not. I'm just saying that I think that's what the Cowboys' plan is, and that is like basically they're finding it out to see who's going to be the guy that they're getting bulk and finding out who's going to rise to the top in this. And I think
that's ridiculous, though.
I'm just saying I think that's what the Cowboys are doing because we have such a wide, choice of picks, so to speak. Because we don't have a lot of glaring needs, not any, really many. And the other spot was edge rusher with the guy from Miami, Joe Jackson. And we got that other guy, the guy at the last round, who I think, Jalen Jelks from defensive end from Oregon, a guy who's probably just not going to make the team. Let's be real. But he's going to push Joe Jackson and both those guys. Maybe neither will make the team, but I think they're going to try to see who can rise to the top out of those two. And I just think they're looking at, trying to cover their asses when it comes to, let's say, a defensive back to take over for Anthony Brown in a year. When you're looking at that deep in the draft, you're not looking at a starter, guys. You're not looking at a guy who's going to start when you look at the 7th round.
No, not at all.
Right, and I do think that when you think about who we got in the 6th round, and we didn't know anything, Xavier Woods. Look at him now, right? So I'm just saying, I'm not saying these are great picks. We don't know what the way the Cowboys grade their scouting group and Chris Hall and Will McClay. I'm going to say it. I could be happier with this draft. I rated a B, and I think that a B, yes, not a D.
I also gave it a B.
A B. A B because it could have been better, but it's conservative and we have a lot of choices. And I think we got trenches with our important picks. We got Amari Cooper. You throw him in there, you got to. That bumps it up too. I throw him in there.
I think. Let me say something real quick. Guys. DJ, I get the frustration. I really do. You know I do. But we got to look at it like this. I think the Dallas Cowboys in this draft were really focused on defense because that was the issue last year in last year's in the season last year. The defense, that front seven. We know that the two cornerback positions are safe, which Byron Jones on the two cornerbacks. The safe position is up for grabs. I think they were just kind of picking anybody just to kind of satisfy the fan base. You got to remember that these guys pick in the style that they want to pick. Now, like we said yesterday, it's not up to us. It's not up to us. It's up to them. Now, we can sit here and we can say what we want and all that stuff, but a lot of these guys might even make the team. They're just depth pretty much. I think they were focused on those first 3, maybe 4 picks, and they were like, okay, we'll just pick some guys and make it seem like we're, And I may be wrong. What I'm saying may not be exactly right. I don't care about being wrong. I mean, I'm human.
But I'll say this.
I'm not going to give a grade anymore on drafts because we don't know how it's going to turn out. This could turn out to be the best draft. It could turn out to be the worst. Who knows? We just gotta. I think we gotta kind of. Well, we have no choice but to see how it's going to iron out because these guys were drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. My thing was defensive tackle, offensive line, maybe a backup running back for Zeke. And I wanted a strong safety as well. But I told you, like I said yesterday and weeks before, the Dallas Cowboys not putting too much stock. They're loading up, just like me and you said yesterday, DJ. They're loading up the box, that 7-man front, so it can take the place of the average talent that we got at safety position. You get what I'm saying? They're trying to make it aggressive. That's what I said earlier. They're trying to make it aggressive enough because Marinelli and Rashad, they're aggressive guys. They create aggressive defenses. And they want to make it aggressive enough to where they don't have to rely on the last line of defense, which is safety. You get what I'm saying? So I think they, like I said earlier, they think that we're good at the safety position. That's just my 2 cents on it. Now, the other positions on the offensive side of the ball is running back was probably the only thing I think we kind of needed to back up Steve because we need that 1-2 punch too, just like everybody else has, just especially like the LA Rams, because they handed us our asses with that 1-2 punch. But I don't know if that makes you feel any better, but that's just, I just want you to be like, hey, just woosah a little bit,
Man.
The other thing is, man, I don't know, y'all may be, man, but I'm not 100% sold on Anthony Brown. I'm not so sure that Michael Jackson can't come in there and compete with Anthony Brown for one of those spots. The other thing is Jordan Lewis, although I like him, he did slide down the depth chart, man. So he was basically, man, limited in what he was able to do on the field. And so the Cowboys wasn't overly impressed with Jordan Lewis by the way they treated that whole situation. So having another cornerback that can come in there and compete for that role may not be a bad thing, especially when Anthony Brown is on the last year of his deal. The other thing is with Byron Jones, man, probably going to command a bunch of money next year. Having somebody that we kind of grouping that can be ready to go, should we let him walk, might not also be a bad thing. So I wasn't really mad. I wasn't really mad picking up a cornerback in the 5th round because that gives us a whole year that we can groom him.
But if you think about it, if you look at it, if you think about how the Dallas Cowboys are drafting and how they're making this front seven so aggressive, they don't have to have a good secondary because they're trying to finish it off right there before it gets to that. I don't think they want a dominant secondary. Like, seriously. I think they got Byron Jones, which is one of the best cornerbacks in the league last year. I think that's good enough for them. They got Cheeto on the other side. He's young. He's still up and coming. And we got average safeties. The way that the Dallas Cowboys run their defense, which is a front seven aggressive style, is it doesn't give time to develop those Jordan Lewis's and Anthony Browns and stuff like that. It doesn't give them time to do it. You get what I'm saying? So that's probably why it's a slow process. It looks up to us. It looks like, oh well, we got all these secondary guys, but they're not doing. They're not getting. Look at the run. Look, we got Jalen Smith, 2 elite linebackers, and they're trying to beef up this defensive line. They're trying to solve all the problems at the beginning of a play, so it won't even get back to them. Now, obviously, it's not going to happen. Be perfect, and they're going to stop everybody and stop everybody. You still need a secondary. But with them being the last line of defense, I think they just kind of focusing on that front seven, and they'll make it up. They'll make up the lack of talent that we got in the back. I mean, that's just my opinion. I may be wrong, but it seems like setting it up.
Hey, let me jump in real quick because I just want to. I'm not going off the subject, but on one of our streams, Cowboy fan was in the chat saying our offense was terrible last year for the most part. So how do we address it? Question mark. 2 running backs, a guard, and all defense. You got to understand, Cowboy fan, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. Firing the offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan. Yeah. Getting a Pro Bowl center back. I mean, we got our fingers crossed on that. Travis Frederick. Yeah. A quarterback coach that has had NFL experience. Getting guys like Randall Cobb. Dak's going to be have a full year in training camp with preseason with Cooper and Gallup. So that's my answer to your question. Go ahead, guys. But I just had the answer to that, and I wanted to nail it. So go ahead.
That's a good point. Good point, Mark.
A B.
Big ass B.
Well, I didn't think we really needed a bunch. I didn't really think we needed a bunch in this draft. I think we addressed our positions of depth and did pick up the positions that we needed, minus the safety position. Everything else, man, it was positions that we needed. You know, we come to us and picked up some depth positions that we needed because the core of our team is already there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Going to the draft, we can line up and play the damn game with the roster that we had.
That's true.
And we all talked about that earlier. We talked about that, DJ. We said, and during free agency, we filled a lot of those holes. I mean, we still had holes, and I guess it's what they thought they filled in the draft just now. But the team, we were ready. We all knew that we were going to be. This is going to be a laid back draft for us. We can pretty much do what we want. The first 3 picks, maybe 4, like I said, those are probably the only ones that really count. After that, we'll just see. That's just, I don't know.
Hey, Cowboys and bro, let me ask you this, bro. You would have took that offensive lineman over a safety in the 3rd round? Can't hear you, bro. You're on mute.
What's the question? Who's?
I wanted the safety, but I understand why we took the offensive lineman. I understand why we took the offensive lineman, especially the way our line broke down last year. We had a bunch of people that we were pretty much getting the line together. We needed more depth in the line, so I understood why we did it. I would have rather had, if it was me, I would have, with the 58th pick, I would have probably taken one of those safeties right then and there because all 3
exactly
3 of the top 4 safeties were still left on the board. But I ain't mad that we didn't because right after we passed up on 58th, the next 5 picks, 3 of them were safeties.
Yeah.
So the ones that all the safeties that worked today about the 3rd round were gone. And anybody you could have picked up in the 3rd round, man, would have had a hard time competing with what we already had, which is real sad to say about the safeties that was left on the board. But that's just the truth of the matter.
Oh, I want to jump in on this real quick. Sorry, guys, just real quick. And if you think look at our free agency and our draft, every damn defensive end and every damn defensive tackle that we added this team, that's going to help out every cornerback and every safety, every DB in the back. because having that pass rush and that run stuffed up top is going to help all our guys in the back.
All right.
No, sir. Debatable.
DJ, what you say, man?
DJ said was hell no.
I said, man, listen, man.
What's up, dog?
Hey, I'm not saying it's an excuse, but we can't be like, oh well, we didn't need to say that because our front seven gonna cover that. No, they can't cover that. Our front seven can't like it's shit. I seen Russell Wilson throw a touchdown with D Law in his face.
Oh yeah, we look here. I think we all wanted a safety. Trust me.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, we wanted that, but that's just what they didn't. What I'm saying, and probably what we're all saying, is what the Cowboys are thinking. Now I was like, shit. I was just like you. I'm like, shit. Hopefully, first pick we get a safety, but they didn't do it. Or second pick, we get a safety. They didn't do it. Third pick, we get a safety. They didn't do it. So they just kept like Cowboys and Browns said, it just kept dropping like flies. So it wasn't any left really. So
It's a question for the group. It's a question for the man. Y'all think we'd have picked the safety right there at the 58 spot. Tristan Hill was there in the third.
Yeah. Hey, what happened was they were considering two guys at that point: Tristan Hill and Juan Thornhill. That's it. The two Hills. That's it. Those are the only two guys they were considering at the time at the 58th pick, and they decided that Tristan Hill is more important to their defensive scheme based on the defensive tackle's position and the fact that he can play 1 tech and 3 tech. I'm just telling you what they're saying, that they value that over the safety.
B. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey man. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't want those, like I said, I had no issues with our front seven. Sometimes the hot boys were cold boys, but more often than not, they did their job. I saw more problems in our secondary than I did with our front seven, and I feel like that is something that we should have addressed. Looking at who we got coming up this year, and with Chris Richard, I think we should have gave Chris Richard some true weapons that are game ready, that are ready to, I just, like I said, it's all good. We can't change it.
No, I was trying to talk when my fucking mic was muted still.
Well,
but I wanted to respond to you there, DJ.
Go ahead.
DJ Crown J. And I wanted to say something to you that, when it comes to the grade I gave for the Cowboys here with that B, as you like, here's the reason why. And you guys all touched on it. It's the fact that we could have went safety there. We got to trust in what the Cowboys are doing when it comes to, their choice they're going for, what they believe is what they need more for the defensive scheme. They're happy enough with Jeff Heath. And I'm not happy enough with Jeff Heath, but they are. Like 1980 said, we can't control that. Now, I will say this. That's partially why I'm giving them a B, because I believe we might have gotten Tristan Hill maybe at 90. We could have gotten a couple other defensive interior guys. I mean, Renell Wren didn't go till freaking 7th round or something. So there's a lot of good guys we could have still kind of grabbed, I believe. But that's one of those situations why it dropped a little bit. And the other situation is, like I said, that Tony Pollard situation. Even though he's a good pick, it was the fact that we could have gotten Tony Pollard with the other 4th round pick and probably gotten him and still gotten Isaiah Johnson. He would have been a viable starting cornerback / safety, box safety type of guy. We probably would have used him like that. So that's why I dropped it down from an A+, let's say. You started that or whatever. No, I'm saying
A+.
No, I'm just saying, like, but blindly say, get Amari Cooper 1st round. That's an A+, right?
No, sir.
Right? Really? Amari Cooper 1st round is not that counts to me. It does.
No, sir.
So hey, this is my rules, right? On this. So for me, Absolutely. It counts. That's a 27th. That's a 27th pick, and that's Amari Cooper at 24 years old. That's a damn good pick. We already had him for 10 games. So Amari Cooper, that's an A+, and then from there it fluctuated for the reasons I mentioned, but it went down to a B, but nothing close to that disappointing. And D, you gave it, DJ.
I gave it what it deserved, man.
To each their own, right? I mean, hey,
Yep.
that's why Cowboy Nation, we got our voices here. I don't
Yep.
agree, but I respect you as a Cowboy fan to listen to you.
Well, if the offense controls, you see, leave it up to me. I like offensive linemen. You can never have too many of those guys, too many guys. If we get back that 2016 philosophy, milk the clock, time of possession, offense actually controls the defense too. Y'all might be like, what the hell are you talking about, 1980? The offense can control the defense too. If the offense milk the clock, stay on the field, win time of possession, run the ball, pass the ball, nickel them down up the field, whatever they got to do. But just milk that clock, keep that defense fresh, then we'll be fine. That's just my philosophy on the whole thing. And I'm not even talking about the draft anymore. I'm talking about the guys that we already got. I think we're a good team. I think we will be a better team than last year. I want us to get that same formula back 2016, but I think we're probably a better, as far as weapon wise, we're better equipped. If we can get that offensive line going, we'll be great. Zeke, get him a good backup when he needs rest, so he won't be looking around. Win the time possession, because if you keep that defense fresh, that's how we lost last season in the playoffs against the Rams. Our defense was tired; they couldn't get off the field. Offense couldn't really work their magic and keep them on the field. Win the time possession and milk that clock. We were punting as soon as we got the damn ball, 3 and out real quick, and defense back on the field. They didn't get any rest, so you can't make good decisions when you're tired. So a lot of guys were alternating. We couldn't get in a good rhythm defensively to stay off the field. So once we get that formula back that we had in 2016, we'll be fine. That's what I'm hoping that this year. And I'm really just kind of off the job. I'm kind of going off the subject here, but that's what kind of season I'm looking forward to this year. I think we got our asses kicked enough last year to be able to like, okay, guys, we're ready to go now. So what y'all think about that?
Like y'all mentioned earlier, the team we already had was good enough. I said last night, I'll say it again. Jeff Heath has reached his ceiling as far as potential as a safety. Jeff Heath ain't getting no better. What you got from him every year in the past is the same thing you're gonna get this year. X Woods, man, he ain't even cracked the surface yet. I felt like you need to put a guy back there with him that's a heat seeker also. Jeff Heath, he just isn't it, man. I do have faith in Chris Richard, although I gave him a lot of shit last year because he deserved it, because he often screwed up. And I do got faith in Marinelli. I feel like our defense is gonna be top 3, this year. We only got potential to grow. You got Robert Quinn and DeMarcus Lawrence out there at the same time, for God's sake. So that's gonna be a force to be reckoned with, man. And at any given moment, you never know who's gonna be on the interior. So because we got so many rotational players, and we're not even gonna talk about the 2 linebackers that we got. So man, this front 7 gonna be beastly. They talked about how much Kellen Moore wanted that running back that we got. So hopefully he got some plans for that guy. I hope it ain't the Lucky Whitehead or the Damian Harris jet sweep. Let's hope it's not that predictable ass shit that we always see with these speedy guys. That was the Lanahan special. So let's hope Kellen Moore's a little more creative. They say he's an offensive genius. So we're gonna see, but in the same breath, a B. What?
Oh man.
But
Anybody else have any words on it? Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're done. I was because I had one last topic, kind of, if you guys didn't mind. Once you guys are done.
yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just ready for the season to see some Cowboy football, man. But I'm not happy with this draft overall, but I would like to see Lyle Collins moved out of that position. So I hope that's why they brought that new guy in.
That's we had a small roundtable on my channel last night, South of Heaven 88, and yeah, we pretty much all agreed. Me, working class, Voice for Life, we all pretty much agreed that that bringing him in could be the bye-bye of Lyle Collins and his $10 million next year.
Yeah, I hope they move Connor Williams over there and put the other Connor at guard. Yeah, they move Lyle back to guard. I don't care, man. Just not tackle, man. It is what it is. I do think our old line is gonna be back. To I'm not gonna say they're gonna be back to what they were in 2014 and 2016 because oh my god.
Woo!
But especially 2014. But
Man.
I'm just saying
if we could say that Travis Frederick will be back at a minimum of 90%,
yeah,
they're there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm happy with this O line. I know 1980 always stressing O line, always stressing. That's where it starts at. That's where your offense starts at. You can't run the play if your O line ain't holding up. You can't run your running back if your O line ain't holding up. You can't pass. So the more they can protect Dak, open holes for Zeke, and all that good stuff, man. I'm happy for it, man. But MCF, you can go ahead. But a B.
wait. Hold on. A D.
Hey, MCF, on the same subject. How about me or you? We read off your draft results from your poll.
Well, I mean, yeah, go ahead, man. You want to read it out?
Yeah. It'll take me just a minute to get
Hey, before you do that, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. I'm tired. I go to sleep, man. I just want to jump on for a second, y'all.
All right, that's fifth quarter Cowboys. Everybody, make sure y'all subscribe to them, man. Hey,
Yeah. No doubt. Hey, good talking. Hey, Cowboys, bro, good talking to you, bro. I haven't heard from you in a minute, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, DJ is not going to like this. On the poll on My Cowboys Family, all you got to do is go to his channel, then click on Community, and the poll starts up. 16% gave us an A. 47% gave us a B. I was in the 25% that gave us a C. 4% gave us a D. And, hey, there's DJ. 9% gave us an F.
Hey, it's interesting. It's a small sample size, but
I'm gonna go down to that 9% that gave an
L. Right now.
I'm going down to that 9% that gave an L. I just changed my grade.
We have a lot of undrafted guys that we're bringing in, by the way, and I think that improves the draft actually. But hey, that's the kind of last thing I want to end it with. But before I go there, I wanted to have the Cowboys Abroad have some a say as well in here. So any words there, Cowboys Abroad? And much love to DJ, by the way. Fifth quarter Cowboys.
Fifth quarter.
Overall, I think we had a good draft. I think we had a good draft. There's no way that I could see going down that low. No way. We just feel too many needs and feel too much depth. And which is what we need to go into this draft. We had a solid team going in, and so we need to plug some holes, and we did that. And I think we got some solid guys to do that. How they all gonna shake out, we don't really know. But when you get past the fifth run, you really kind of taking the flyer on the guy. You taking some risks. Guy may or may not make your team. So at the end of the day, I don't think we could go wrong too much. We could have totally blew this draft missed on all our picks, and still had a decent team to go into the season with. So anything we is pretty much bonus in my mind. Been interested to see what the running back situation. See what the running back situation turns out to be like. I still think in my mind we need to go out and address safety. I don't like that safety situation. But I think that a chief free agent will be there for you. A lot of guys gonna get cut, but after training camp and other places, we can go out and get a chief free agent safety. I don't feel comfortable going to the season with what we have right now at safety. And feel good about it. Yeah, we don't really value that much. We think it's an average position, but hey, what would we be in 2014, 2016 if we had good safety play? You know, Aaron Rodgers beat us twice because our damn safeties was trash. You know, so where would we be? You know, if we had decent safety play. You know, last year, you know, the Rams was able to ice the game because our safety missing the assignment. You know, so safety is important.
Yeah.
It's the last line of defense. It's the last line of defense. Yeah, you may not need an elite player in every position, but damn it, you should have somebody good.
Yeah.
We need somebody just to get two good plays for us. And I think we'll be all right. Cowboys did a good job though. I didn't get 100% of what I like, but you never get 100% of what you like going into a draft. If you can get about 80% of what you expect, would like to see, you did pretty well. And I think here we got about 85, 90% of the things I probably would have expected to see in the draft. So I'm happy with it, and I'm good. I'm good with it. My grade ain't changed. It's a B for the Cowboys draft.
Yeah. It's like, hey, 1980. I had a question for the chat, and I'm with you there, Cowboys Abroad. Now listen, what do you really? I mean, I guess you can wrap it up with something else. I just wanted to throw it out there because there was some late moves right after the draft for the Cowboys, and I found it interesting who the Cowboys picked up. Now listen, the draft ended, and these guys were still available after the draft. And tell me if you heard any of these names. These guys were undrafted. All right. Dax Raymond from tight end from Utah State. Penny Hart, receiver from Georgia State. Emmanuel Hall, wide receiver from Missouri. Daniel Wise, defensive tackle from Kansas. Gerald Willis, defensive tackle from Miami. He was undrafted. Undrafted.
Wow.
Then Derek Thomas, cornerback from Baylor. John Vea Johnson, receiver from Toledo. And Chris Westry, cornerback from Kentucky. These guys were taken off the board, right? But
some of these names were like mentioned in the 3rd round. That's insane.
Yeah. And so here's who the Cowboys picked up, and let's listen in on this here, guys. The Cowboys picked up Daniel Wise from that's a big. I think that's a good. He was looked to be picked up 3rd, 4th round some places. Daniel Wise coming to Dallas. Chris Westry, cornerback, a big guy, big corner. Look for him to make a splash here as an undrafted free agent. Cowboys picked up wide receiver John Vea Johnson. All right. Cowboys also picked up another wide receiver, Jalen Guyton. No Penny Hart. Penny Hart went to the Colts. Then the Cowboys picked up offensive lineman Brandon Knight. And they picked up defensive tackle Ricky Walker. And linebacker Justin Phillips. Linebacker Luke Gifford. Linebacker Nate Hall. And that's pretty much the whole run there. Mitch Hyatt, offensive tackle, another guy they picked up. Now, most of these guys probably won't make the team, but a couple are going to sneak on practice squad, and a couple are going to sneak on the on the 53 watch. Mark my words. These are some good pickups. Last year we had Shavarius Ward on this group, and he ended up starting in Kansas City and taking over Orlando Skandrick's spot there. So, again, we do great with our guys with McClay, but mainly Chris Hall. He does this undrafted. He has a board set up perfectly. Some guys I think we need to bring him like Cole Tracy, a kicker from LSU. He's accurate and he kicks them from long distance. Bring him in and give Maher a run for his money. I would love to bring in Willis from Miami just to see what he's got. I mean, he must have real bad background. He's 24 years old. I don't know what his issues are, but they're going to be major if he dropped out in the 2nd round and not even being drafted. And he's still not picked up. He's still undrafted as far as I've heard. So Penny Hart, went to the Colts, a guy we talked about a lot. Undrafted again. I think the Texas Longhorn guy, Little Jordan Humphreys, undrafted. I'm pretty sure he was undrafted. So again, if I'm wrong about any of those names, let me know. But there's a lot of guys out there that we've even picked up that are good names and undrafted picks, and that are going to make this team. A couple of these guys, and still some guys even out there left, kicker. The multiple positions. What do you guys think? General talk about this subject.
Well, like I've been saying, the Dallas Cowboys, they picked who they wanted to pick. There were a lot of pretty good names still left over, like you said. I don't know. It's just this is one of those things where the business side kind of takes over, and they know who they want. I think. See, you got to remember, we we were already an okay team, a good team. We already had a loaded roster pretty much going into the draft, before the draft. And I think the hype of the draft kind of overwhelmed a lot of people, got a lot of people pumped up, hyped up, all the glitz and glamour and things like that of the draft. Pretty much after last year before, I stopped taking the draft pretty much seriously. Like I said, last year I was really, doing the numbers and going back and watching film on college prospects and things like that. Every player's story is different. Some players make the team, some players don't. A lot of these players are practice squad players. We have to. The Dallas Cowboys have to pick the best man for the job, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to weed out, the bad people, or I don't want to call them bad people, but this is one of those situations that there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, you got a lot of good players out there that probably won't have jobs when the season starts. These names that we've drafted today, who knows if they make the team? They still got to fight for the team and a spot on the team. That's why training camp is so, competitive. And that's the beauty of the draft, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing, wanting but not knowing. Those two words right there defines the NFL draft. Wanting but not knowing. Because you want this, you want that. Just like for Christmas as a kid, you wanted this, you wanted that. You tell Mama or Santa Claus or whomever, oh, I want this or I want that. And you end up getting this instead of that. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. And we're trying to come to terms with what we're dealt with. It's up to the players. It's up to the players now to figure out how good they need to be to make the squad, how to sacrifice. It's a different game from college to the NFL. It's up to the players now to figure out how good they need to be to get a spot on the squad, because you separate the men from the boys. And that's just my thoughts on the whole draft period. I don't know if I answered your question like you wanted me to, but all those players you just named, I barely knew any of them. So I'm just like, the draft, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what the draft is all about. Get everybody hyped up. Oh, we're getting this guy. They dress up in suits. They showed our college highlights. We get excited. We get happy because it's some kind of football. We want our team to get better. We want our team to grow. And, oh, we want this guy. We want this guy. We get pumped up. We start buying T-shirts and jerseys and, advertising and all that stuff. And then, oh, we get our feelings hurt. So that's what the draft is all about. It's almost like a movie, going to see a movie. You don't know what they're showing previews of the movie that looks good. They're showing all the good previews of that movie. Oh, I got to go see that movie. That's a good movie. It's a sales pitch. I'm not putting a damper on the draft. I love the NFL draft. I love the NFL. I love the Cowboys. I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. But you can't put too much stock into it because you don't know what you're going to get. You get what I'm saying? So that's just my take on the whole draft. I don't know how you guys may feel about it, but that's just my take on it.
Yeah, and I got you. Anybody else have any views or thoughts on the undrafted guys that we picked up? And again, I want to make sure I clarify. Little Jordan Humphreys went to the Saints, my fault, and Gerald Willis from Miami Hurricanes. He ended up going to the Baltimore Ravens, undrafted. They picked them up after the draft. But yeah, anybody else have any more thoughts on this? As we, I guess, 1980. Let me know if you want to keep going and wrapping it up. But anybody else?
The bottom line is that we're talking NCAA versus NFL, and until they get out there and play, we really don't know. We can say this guy looks good on paper or that guy looks good on paper, but until they get out there and play, because hey, we're old school football fans, right? And we've seen a lot of bust in the NFL. Some of them early, some of them late, and we've seen some good people. Some people undrafted like Tony Romo. We talk about the Tom Brady's drafted in the 60s. What was it? And we could go on with the good and the bad and good and bad. But until they actually, we as fans, we can have fun with it. We give the draft an A. We give the draft a C. We give the draft an F. It sucked. Until they get out there and play in the NFL and they get with the systems, we really don't know what these players are going to do for us. And I think I come into from a perspective as a NFL fan, a Cowboys fan, obviously, but I try to put my mind in what is Jerry Jones, Jason Garrett, Stephen Jones doing, and okay, we got contracts on these guys, so I can see why we drafted these players. Oh, we need depth here. I can see why we drafted those players. And yeah, everybody wants those big names, but in the end, if you're thinking about a team, there's a lot of people on a team, and there's starters, and there's backups, and there's salary caps, and this and that. And yeah, you just got to put it all together, and you come out, and boom, here we go. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate being here. I am Mike Mosh out the Heaven 88.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, much love, brother. I put your name in the description here as well. And Cowboys Abroad, man. What do you think about the undrafted and the draft in general?
Well, every year, man, you go into camp. You go into camp, and about 40 or 45 of your players are already under contract. That's probably gonna make your roster. So you take 55 guys. You take about 55 guys, 55, 60 guys. Put them in camp. To compete for literally 6 or 7 roster spots. So. You can't really fall in love with these guys. You kind of got to let the process play itself out. Some of those guys are going to come in, make an impression. They're going to look good. And our minds are going to scratch our heads as to why these guys don't make our rosters, or why they don't make other people's rosters. But the reality of it is, if you just look at that, 6 or 7 roster spots on every team. You ain't got but 30 teams. You're not competing for a whole lot of jobs. Not a whole lot of jobs available. Not a lot of space available. So we just have to wait and see. We have to wait it out and check out the process. But I will say that I'm optimistic, and I'm happy about where we are, and I feel good about the picks that we made. And for these undrafted guys, every now and then one of them fall out, and I won't know until I actually see them playing in preseason games. All that training camp, mini camp, rookie camps, and all that kind of stuff, it really ain't gonna mean much until I actually see them put the pads on, get out there in games 1, 2, 3, and 4, and watch them guys play. I'm not gonna really know what to think about these undrafted guys. They're just gonna be unknowns until then.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out, man. Tell them where they can find you at, brother.
Hey, man, I'm Cowboys Abroad, man. I can be found, man. I can be flying right here on YouTube, man. The Cowboys Abroad. I can be found on Twitter under the same Cowboys Abroad. Hit me up as well as the rest of these guys. Hit everybody up.
I want to give a shout out, really. First of all, 1980 and my Cowboys family doing these streams, these roundtables are excellent and great. Shout outs to Dallas Cowboys Football News who jumped on and had to go. Shout outs to Fifth Quarter Cowboys, our brother DJ that jumped on and had to go. Obviously, South of Heaven 88, but Mike Mosh. If you type in Mike Mosh, you'll find my page on Facebook. They killed my main Facebooks, but you'll find my page, Mike Mosh. Mike Mosh on Twitter, Mike Mosh 88 on Instagram, and of course South of Heaven 88 on YouTube. I'm one of the oldest Dallas Cowboy video makers on YouTube right now. Shango of the Dallas Cowboy Show, his channel started before mine, and there was a few others that started before mine. But as far as them still being here, so now I'm like number 2 right behind Shango. I started my channel in like December of 06 on YouTube. And I seen there was a Shango, the Dallas Cowboy Show, and there was Halen 88. And I'm like, man, I'm a Cowboy fan. I love my team. I want to make videos, and I've been making videos ever since, and I love it. Who am I? I'm the jersey guy. I do all sports, all teams. This is the Van Der Esch Pro Bowl. Anybody needs great quality gear. Some people know Mark Holmes, right? I do those Cowboy Jabu jersey for him, just to give you a little heads up. So that's me. So I'm pretty popular, and I'm pretty big. Anybody need any gear? You can comment any of my videos, and you can find me. And I just enjoy being here. I'm just a true diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And as always, let's go Cowboys.
Appreciate that, Mike Mosh. All right, Cowboys family, let them know where they can find you at.
Thank you, man. First and foremost, again, I echo what everybody else is saying here. Again, I'm honored. I appreciate 1980 getting us up on here. And I also appreciate, the viewpoints. DJ and I might disagree, but we both want the same thing, guys. It's all there. The passion is there. And we want number 6. Mike Mosh, Cowboys Abroad, these guys are great. They get great content out there and all different kinds of content. And that's what I want to see in Cowboy Nation. I want us to be growing together. And I want to keep seeing this fan bases keep getting smarter by the day. And that's what I'm seeing. I really see a lot of great minds out here in the chat and here on these streams, on the roundtables, or any kind of on all these other channels when you guys do the hangouts. Fantastic stuff. Much love, guys. Again, yes, a B for DJ. I gave it a B for the draft. But, guys, one last thing I want to say. Trey Boston, in 10 days or so, watch what happens with him. He's still a free agent. Watch out, Trey Boston. You never know. All right, anyways, moving on. Guys, you can find us right here on YouTube, My Cowboys Family. Been around for a little over a year and a half, and just do video. We just do a video every day and go over the Cowboy news of the day. And, guys, there's always something to talk about when it's the Cowboys football. It's literally 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 a year, and that's what we're here with you guys. And here on the round table, always. We did 3 streams today. We're going crazy. Much love, guys. Thank you. And never forget, the navy blue, that's silver, too, and that star over everything. Never forget. Go Cowboys! Woo!
Let me go ahead and close it out, man. Hey, thank you, Cowboys. Guys, I want to say this in closing. Y'all know how I got to do it. In closing, being a Cowboy fan is wonderful. It's the best of all time. We're a part of the richest team in sports. We represent the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. We got 5 Super Bowl rings. Should have been 6. Should have been 6 or 7 if Jimmy Johnson would have stuck around. But the best thing about being a Cowboy fan is we're always excited. We're always excited to talk football, talk Cowboy football. I want you guys to please sub it up to everybody that's on the panel tonight. Cowboys Abroad, old school Cowboy fan, all the way from overseas in Japan, representing the Dallas Cowboys. Keeps his ears to the ground, knows what he's talking about. Mike Mosh, the king of live stream. But be careful. Step into the mosh pit if you want to. It's dangerous in there. You watch it. Mosh pit, got the jerseys, man. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, check him out. Dallas Cowboy football news, 5th quarter Cowboys, whole family. Hey, y'all make sure y'all continue to support us, continue to support everybody. What we say, what we talk about isn't in the Bible. It's opinion. That's all it is. We're not fighting over who's right or wrong. It's opinion of being a Cowboys fan. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of sports. You never know. It's like a box of chocolates, just like with the draft. You never know what you're going to get. And you don't know if it's going to be a Snickers in there or a Kit Kat or whatever. That's what you want. But you might mess around and get a Milky Way or 3 Musketeers or something like that. But that's the beauty of sports. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. And nobody's on here, fighting, doing drive-by shootings because we disagree or agree to disagree or whatever. It's a sport. We're all just fans. That's it. We're not playing for the Cowboys. We're not getting checks or being reimbursed by the Dallas Cowboys. It's just the love of the football team itself and the sport. And we want to thank y'all once again for joining us, for taking time out of your late Saturday night. If it wasn't for you guys make this possible. If it wasn't for you guys, we'd be talking to ourselves, or talking to just each other, which we've done before, So, but hey, guys, always make sure you stay cowboyed up and prayed up because you never know what the day is going to bring you. Holla back. I'm out.